Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and today is an eyeshadow roulette update. So I am doing the eyeshadow roulette with my friend the beauty reviewer. I will have her channel and her video linked down below, so definitely make sure to go check her out. And basically what this is we are doing an eyeshadow roulette, basically where we randomly generate for 5 different eyeshadows every month. Our goal is to use them at least twice within the month, creating different looks, or the same look in my case, because that tends to be what I do. And it's basically just to make sure we're cycling through a lot of our shadows. After the month is over, we randomly generate for 5 new shades. I have all of mine in a Google Sheets document, and I randomly generate numbers from there. So before I jump into today's update, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button because I do upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard. I don't want you guys to miss out on any of my videos if these are interesting to you. And now, without further ado, let's get into this update. So the 5 shadows came from these 4 palettes this month. The first one being one of the shades from my Pixie and It's Judy Time palette. The shade was this guy right here. I don't know if they have shade names, do they? Oh, they do. Had no idea they had shade names. Wow. But it's this shade right here, like this nice warm, it's like a warmy orange almost brown. It's really nice. I'm wearing it today. I wore this guy 3 times over the last month. It's a really, really nice shade, easy to blend. I really, really enjoy this palette for the most part. I just find that I don't reach for it as often just because I have so much now. So I'm really glad for like this eyeshadow roulette just so we can actually reach for this and use it a little bit more. So it was nice to play with that for a little bit, and again, it just blended really nice. It's just a really pretty shade, and I'm glad I got to play with this for a little bit. Next shade is from my Zodiac palette. This is the Colourpop Zodiac palette, and the shade we rolled for this was the Pisces shade. Now, I honestly hadn't really used the shade prior to this because it just doesn't speak to me. I don't really gravitate towards aquas or blues very often, and I don't understand this shade. I don't know if it's supposed to be just a lid topper because it's not very pigmented on a brush. I tried it as a faux liner. You guys know when it comes to blues and aquas, the way I like to use them a lot of the time is as a liner, but for whatever reason, this is not pigmented. It just looks like a glitter topper. I'm wearing it today. I tried to put it on my lower lash line because I was like, oh, maybe if it's a compact brush, it'll go on better. It didn't. I don't even think you can see it anymore. Barely. It just comes off as like a glitter base. So I put it on my lid as well, and I just took my finger to it and patted it on. I ended up only using it twice, like 2 different days, because I couldn't figure out how to use it. I don't know if anyone else who has this palette has found a way to work with this. Maybe it needs to be on a wet brush or something, or maybe I just have a dud, but I don't really care for this shade. So I mean, lesson learned, it's just not very pigmented. It's kind of like, it looks fine on my finger, right? And like if you swatch it, you're like, oh, that's pretty nice, but like on a brush, it just doesn't. Maybe I can show you guys. Hang on, let me grab a brush. I have a brush. I think this is the brush I ended up using because it's kind of turquoise. So you try to pick it up on a brush. Y'all see that? There's like nothing on the brush, and it like is crumbling. Maybe it's the type of brush I'm using. I don't know. It's complicated. Like, look at that. Look at the difference. Look at the freaking difference. I don't understand, but I did try to apply it with my finger today too, but because I don't have much lid space, using my fingers isn't really my favorite thing to do with like really bright shades, so but you'll see the difference, right? You'll see that. I can even go over it again. Let me go over it again. I just went over it multiple times, but yeah, you guys can see the difference. So I don't really care for that shade. It just ended up being really aggravating to try to work with, but I did try. I tried it twice, and so I'm still within the parameters of our rules. The next shade was another easy shade for me to use. It's from my, there's turquoise all over me now. It's everywhere. My turquoise glitter bomb. The next shade is from my Alamar palette. The shade I ended up picking was Cocoa Taxi, which I really, really enjoy. I'm wearing it in my crease today along with like a few other shades, but it's just a really, really nice crease shade. I ended up using this guy 3 times as well because again, it's really easy. I would put that one down first, and you can go over with basically anything to either warm it up or make it more neutral. It's just a nice shade. I love the Alamar formula for eyeshadows. They're really, really smooth, really easy to blend, can build up without being like too much on your eyes. It's just they're overall really nice. This was really easy for me to use as well. And then the last two are from my Urban Decay Born to Run. This palette is getting used and abused this year because it's also in my Pan That Eyeshadow series. But the two shades that we ended up picking were Double Life, which I am wearing today. I've worn this one 3 times, and then Ignite, which I wore twice. And as you can see, Ignite already had pan in it because it was in my Pan That Eyeshadows. But they're both very easy to use. On the eyes, they really look really similar. I'm wearing it today along with Double Life, and like I feel like you can't really tell that there's 2 shimmers on my lid. Really pretty. Love this palette. This palette's really nice to work with, and these were just all pretty easy to use. The only shadow that really gave me trouble was the Colourpop one, so I feel like this month was actually successful. I also have my eye looks. Now, one of the days I basically wore the exact same look as the first pictures that are going to go up, so I didn't take pictures the second time, but I do have a couple pictures to show you. They all basically look the same. They're not too varied at all, because these were all predominantly pretty neutral. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert my eye looks now, and then I will go ahead and pick for this month. So I have my Google Sheet up. I think I have like 296 or something. 294. So I'm gonna draw from 1 to 294. Let's go ahead and generate 244. So let's see. 244 is from my Colourpop Blue Moon palette, and it's Billie Jean. Have we used that one before? I don't know. Why is everything in my life dirty right now? My palette's dirty. So this is, of course, the Blue Moon palette. Billie Jean is honestly gorgeous. It's one of the best shades. I can't remember, have we used this recently in an eyeshadow roulette? Let me go ahead and swatch it. Look how pretty that is. There is the first shade. It's almost like a periwinkle. It's close, but not quite. It's more silver than a periwinkle to me, but you guys know how I feel about periwinkle. Really, really pretty. So there is shade number 1. Maybe it was Da Ba Dee we had used. So then shade number 2 is number 38. So shade number 38. Oh, this is a palette I haven't used in a while. This is from my Violet Voss HG palette. Number 38 is Bat My Eyes. So let me go grab, I have to dig that out. I don't even know where that is right now. It was literally underneath every palette I own. So here's my Violet Voss HG palette and Bat My Eyes. So here is a Bat My Eyes. I've never used this shade. It just looks like a brown. It's a nice brown, slight sheen to it, so I probably couldn't get away with this in the crease, but probably in the outer V I could probably get away with this. These two are really pretty together. So that is shade number 2. Oh, I hit the button before I even showed you guys. I'll roll again. So let's generate. I forgot I was supposed to be showing you. So this shade is 207. Oh, it's from my Alamar palette again. Well, that guy's right here. So from my Alamar palette it is Cafecito, which is a brown. There we go. Makes me want Cuban coffee. Put it next to the other brown. I mean, these 3 together will be really, really pretty. Wow, that is pigmented. My finger. How did it get on my thumb? And my middle finger. This is pigmented. I haven't played with that shade too much. I love that palette, but I feel like I haven't touched that brown that often because there's literally a million browns in my collection. So shade number 4, 253. I feel like we don't go above 100 very often. So 253 is from my Dose of Colors Francation palette, and it's the shade Game Over. Did we recently have that one as well? So we've had this palette in recently, so Game Over is at the very end. Oh, okay, no, we haven't had this one, right? Yeah, Game Over is at the very end. It's the blue, so another blue. It was a little hard to swatch, actually. I'm gonna put it next to this blue. It's really, really deep. Honestly, this color palette is really, really nice together. It's basically a black. It was really hard to swatch. I don't know if I have hard pan in that or not. I mean, I don't really use that shade, so that could be part of it. But so far, I think the color palette's really nice. Really sultry and smoky. And then last shade is 232. I'm telling you, we never get above 100, do we? And I've tried other random number generators, too, and it always happens. So 232 is from my Urban Decay Born to Run palette, and it's Radio. This Urban Decay palette just wants to be in the spotlight all the time. What did I say it was? Radio. Another blue. Wow, what happened? So Radio is this guy right here, another deep blue. Ooh, this one is a lot smoother than the Friendcation one. Ooh, that lineup is pretty nice, you guys. It's very interesting, but all of these can work together again, which I really like. It's just really nice when you have just one cohesive palette and you can just make the same look twice and you're good. It's nice to play with the shades, and also it just makes it a lot easier. This, guys, is the color palette. I really like this color palette. Like, everything's gonna work well. I have a pretty deep crease shade because I only ended up technically getting one matte. Radio, I can't really tell if it is, I feel like Radio has a slight sheen to it. But like, this shade can be used to deepen up any of this. This is gonna be a really pretty lid shade or an inner corner highlight. This will work in the outer V or on the lid. I feel like it's different than what we've been pulling. It's a lot more blues, which I know you guys will really like. It's different. It still has like my traditional browns and bronzes, but not as much as it has been in the past. So I think this will be a really fun one. I'm excited to see what looks I have next month. I feel like this will just be a nice change up from what it has been for the last couple of months. So I am excited about this. I just have shadow everywhere. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this series, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up before you go. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I hope you all are still safe, doing well, taking naps, and eating good food, because that's all I ever want, basically. But hopefully you guys are all still well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!